Since you've come here to Christ Baptist, one of the things you've had the opportunity to do is to meet with the missions committee, the group of people who, many of them, are involved in missions significantly by leading a trip. Others who are involved in missions significantly by praying and for people and helping to provide needs and being a mouthpiece, as it were, for what's going on at Christ Baptist in missions. How do you think of the missions committee, and do you have any ideas on how we might organize that in a better way, or are we good where we're at? I mean, what are some of your thoughts on what we can do in that area of the church life?
I'm very thankful for where we're at. I think the amount of people that are interested in missions, what was the number on Sunday? Over 500?
550, 64, I don't know, something like that, yeah.
Actually signed up to pray for
Yes.
Your team and other trips. And obviously the number of trips that we take, short-term ministry trips, the number of international partners we support.
Yes.
Just coming into this and kind of beginning to get my head around it.
Yes.
Tremendously encouraging. It's remarkable that the church has an evident priority on gospel work in the nations, and so fantastic. I think because that is the case, there are growing days ahead. I think that I would speak for everyone. I think who I've been able to speak with in terms of interest in missions, and say nobody's excited to just keep maintaining what we're doing.
Sure.
We're wanting to grow.
Yes.
We're wanting to develop new partnerships. We're wanting to develop the partnerships we have to take on different dimensions owing to who the Lord is providing there, here. And so some of my earliest thinking has been, well, how do we prepare for that growth to be healthy, intentional, sustainable, actually benefiting our partners on the ground, the gospel work there, and not just helping us feel better because we went somewhere.
Sure.
All of these kind of questions, and so part of the answer, I think, to being positioned well for the growth that's coming, missions-wise, is to maybe divide that committee into two different kinds of work, because there's a lot of good work that's happening right now, but it's not all of the same kind.
Okay.
And I think...
what do you mean by that? Help me understand.
Same kind of work?
Same kind of work. What are the different types of work that can be done?
So, for example, one kind of work is very strategic in terms of planning, executing trips, debriefing trips, preparing for new waves of trips. That's a kind of conversation, even a kind of, in terms of, in my role, a kind of equipping, visioneering, kind of forward thinking. And so that I think by nature, it needs to be a little bit smaller group. Okay. And it needs to be the group that is invested in the actual logistics of the trip. So I'm thinking here about team leaders.
Team leaders, okay. Yes.
Who are not only interested in the work of the church in Moldova, but are thinking at the level of when do we go, and where do the tickets come from, and who do I need to raise up to be able to lead this trip next year, and who actually knows the country, so we can get around, and what's God doing in the church in Moldova, so that we can serve it well. And last time I was there, they expressed this need. What would a second trip to Moldova look like that focused here? So that kind of forward-thinking, strategic kind of work, I think, needs its own forum. Yes. As the missions pastor, where we can have those conversations. Yes. You broaden that circle out too much, and everyone's excited, but we're not all on the same page anymore. Okay. It's just gotten too broad. So one of the things I would like to do going forward is to move that committee into these two groups. One of them being, I'm calling it MAP. Missions Advisory Panel. Really, I just needed something.
You needed an acronym of some sort. Yes, very good.
But when I think of a map, that's what I think of, is strategic plotting. And thinking, here's where we want to get. This step comes first, and then we go here, and then that leads us where we want to go. So that's MAP.
So MAP, and these are the leaders of the trip.
Trip leaders.
Trip leaders, and potentially others who they're trying to also disciple to raise up.
Because I think we need that. I think we limit ourselves unnecessarily when we have kind of one couple or one person. Yes. And I am
I am it.
Yes,
Yes.
I am Brazil. We'll just use Brazil.
Sure,
and I always go to Brazil, and only I go to Brazil. And,
Yes.
And then all of a sudden I can't go, and what happens to the Brazil trip
Right,
that year? Well, we're
right.
kind of scrambling, and I think if as God begins to multiply and prosper even the work on the ground, and we want to say 2 trips a year, 3 trips a year,
Yes.
if I can dream
Yes.
For a minute, then we would want to have trip leaders who were not thrown in to the fire for the first time. I've never been, but I'll go give it a shot.
No
And,
idea.
So, yes, raising up those apprentice leaders, but that does not. That's a very strategic, significant group. But then you've got a huge group of people who I think were on the committee already, not as trip leaders, but on the committee, but just love what we're doing, love what God's doing in the nations, and would want to be part of it.
Yes.
Would want to know about how they can pray for upcoming trips. Would love to put gift baskets together for the missionaries. What they can't get there that they want from here. Or would love to get backpacks together for the school kids. Or would love to help put on the missions.
Yeah. Sure.
All of that kind of thing. And so that's MAST. That's MAST. So you're seeing what I'm doing.
A mast. I like that. You've got a nautical theme going on.
So,
this is good. This
so
is
you
good.
think of what a mast does. A mast holds the sail, which, as the wind of the Spirit blows, right? It's what holds the thing up and allows it to move forward.
Okay.
So that what you plotted on the map can actually be accomplished.
Okay.
Right? You don't need, if you just plot and scheme
and
design, then you just have a lot of good ideas and you never get anything done. No, we know that this is spiritual war, and this is significant effort that we're doing here, and we need prayer cover. We need people invested in all of these ways, and maybe they can go, maybe they can't go, but they're invested. That holds the structure up, that kind of allows the whole thing to move forward. So,
would that be, just thinking about MAST, so and that stands for what again? Remind me. MAST stands for
Missions Awareness Support Team.
Okay, so we got MAST. All right. So is that the sort of team that, let's imagine you've got a parent and they are thinking, I would love to get my child interested and engaged with missions, but he or she is maybe 8, 9, 10 years old, and we do have a kind of lower limit for children who can go on a trip, generally. And so, but would that be something that a parent could say, well, I want to be on MAST, and I would love my 10-year-old to come with me to find out about what's going on, and they could help, prepare bags and so forth, or whatever is going, and they could be part of praying, and is that something that they could, as a family or as a parent with a child, could they get involved in MAST? Because obviously a 10-year-old is not going to be a leader of a trip that's going forward, or, I don't know, I'd be curious to know if that's would fit.
I think it could be a fantastic idea, not just to be part of MAST, but I love what you're saying in terms of going as a family. And, I think one of the things I've asked the trip leaders already is begin to talk to me about how your trip could receive all kinds of different people.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
is it a dangerous trip? Is it just the kind of taxing trip that it kind of limits who's able to go and sit that long or do that thing?
Do whatever, yeah.
Or, do we have trips? I want to make sure we do have trips, enough trips where a 15-year-old could go with their dad to Romania and have his life changed.
Yes.
So I think that needs to be something that we strategically think about in terms of the trips that we offer.
Yes.
And I don't see why we couldn't involve them on let's pray for it.
Yes,
Let's serve others as they get ready to go. And involve them, in a sense, from top to bottom, through and through the missions effort of the church. Yeah.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, then MAP would be a group that might change a little bit from year to year, depending on who's actually leading those trips or who is being mentored to lead a trip. Right. And MAST could also change in terms of maybe somebody from MAST ends up becoming discipled in MAP to lead a trip. They get to that point of thinking, maybe I could do that. And MAST, of course, would be, I presume, also a place where all the members would be encouraged, as much as you want to be involved in this part of what we're doing with missions,